Hello, everyone. Dr. Lisa Fost here, and we've got a little bit of a different kind of topic for you today. Not really so much to do with pharmacy, but very much to do with your personal life, your personal financial situation, and kind of what to do either after pharmacy or during pharmacy if you're looking to ways to diversify your personal investment portfolio. Obviously, I'm a big fan of diversification. Our company's name is Diversify RX, not just in your revenue streams, but also in your personal, what I call revenue streams, which is all your different investments, all your different ways of securing your future. Because I not only want you to have a successful, thriving pharmacy, I want you to have a successful, thriving life. And so I have an old friend with me today. I've known Claude for many years. I don't even know how long, but very, very long time. And we are going to be talking about real estate. And this is actually, I get asked a lot about this. People, I'm an expert in helping with pharmacy profits. So they think I kind of know about all things of growth. And really, I am a noob when it comes to real estate. I've definitely looked into it, been doing a lot of research and reading and different kinds of things. But besides my own houses for real estate, I really haven't dove into it. So I'm looking very much forward to this conversation. And I hope you are too. So Claude, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your journey, because I know you as a pharmacy owner. That's obviously how we connected, but kind of tell us that journey of how you went from being, I say, just a pharmacy owner into real estate and kind of what you're doing now with real estate.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Really, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Just to tell you a little bit more about me, I'm a licensed pharmacist, as you said. I'm licensed pharmacist in Florida. We have 2 stores now, and I'm a real estate investor. My first passion is pharmacy, right? Being a pharmacist. And my second passion now, it's about real estate. Just to let you know about the background, how it came, I was working for CVS, as you know, for many years, working long hours, and I wasn't really fulfilled. So I was like, there must be somehow to make money. So trading my time with money, how can I do passive income? And then I stumbled to a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. So I started reading it. I was hooked. And then I even went a further step where I hired a coach. As you know, pharmacy, they don't train us about finance, anything like that. So I had this coach that trained me, teach me about finance, about profit and loss, income statement, all those stuff. And then he taught me about real estate as well. So we first purchased our first house, my wife and I. She's always my business partner. So we purchased our first house, and then 2008 happened, right? Where the market crashed, especially in Florida. It was really bad, where you can buy something for like $20,000. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to work 7 days a week at CVS and save and start adding those passive income, right? And then at 2013, I realized that actually my passive income was almost 50% of my pharmacist income. So I was like, whoa, this will allow me to open my first store, which was my dream. I always dreamed about opening a pharmacy, right? So 2014, when we realized that we were getting 50% of our pharmacist income from real estate, we were like, this is the best time to jump in, which we did. We started from scratch. That's where we met. But it was really hard, right? Having newly married, having a first child, and then opening a pharmacy. So real estate was really a game changer, where it allows us to pay our bills, pay one technician that we had, and still open doors until the pharmacy was able to sustain itself. So that's how we started. And then 2017, when the market went really high, we sold all those small residential duplexes, and then we went commercial because we believe that, wait a minute, commercial will allow us to have more passive income, have more tax benefit as depreciation and doing cost segregations and all those benefits. So 2017, we switched over, we sold the residential and we went commercial. It was a long journey as well, right? We had to learn, we had to call sellers, bankers, brokers. So, but thank God, God opened a door. There was a retired doctor in Tennessee that was trying to sell his triple net buildings. So had like, dialysis centers and couple group of doctors. So we purchased that building, and that was like, wait a minute, I should be doing this more often, right? So I started focusing, my wife and I will start focusing on buying even more of those commercial buildings. We'll be buying like a commercial building that has value add, we'll add a tenant and then sell it a little bit higher and go for it. So that's how we start buying real estate. And then throughout that journey, I start coaching pharmacists, nurses about real estate. I'm telling them, hey, look at my portfolio, look at finance, look at QuickBooks, see the benefit of it. So we start doing one-on-one coaching with one nurse and one pharmacist. And then 2022, I start seeing that 2 of independent pharmacies were closing down, and the third one is about to close down. I'm like, so we purchased cash, the second store, and then we're like, we should really, really tell the pharmacist world what we are doing and how it's changed our lives. Because my wife and I, we usually play games every year, like how many line of income can we increase per year, right? How many business can we buy so we can have more passive
your
income?
Your wife and you sound a lot like my husband and me.
That's it. Yeah, we are so like, we work together, we are partners. And then so we're like, okay, we create this company where we can coach pharmacists as well. Like, how do you invest in real estate in a large scale? How can you take advantage of us coaching you, giving you access to a network of brokers, lenders, real estate sellers, and so you can even benefit of the taxes and the passive income. I call those checks, for me, it's like mailbox check that I go to the
mailbox
bank.
Money. Yep, mailbox money.
Exactly. So yeah, that has been my journey. And then my mission right now, it's how do we coach pharmacists to see that there's a benefit of diversifying your income and not trading time with money, but actually, and then changing your life as well, like having a financial freedom, having a peace of mind, and even having that money that you're getting from real estate, helping your business sustain and actually thrive.
Yeah. No, I love this, which is why I've been looking in real estate. And I kind of want to, review, there's lots of ways to do quote unquote real estate. Real estate is a very big umbrella, and they each have, there's little handles for each of those umbrellas. And, there's buying broken down houses, rehabbing them and selling them. There's, buying broken down houses, rehabbing them and renting them. There's short-term rentals, long-term rentals, commercial, residential. There's 1,001 ways to do real estate. And I think the best way, a lot of times I get asked, what's the best way? And, I have no expertise, but my answer is it probably depends on where you live or the city that you're buying in, because different cities, some cities are really great for short-term rentals, a lot of those vacation destinations, whereas other cities are really good for, maybe executive long-term rentals or something like that. And so there really is, I think, a flavor for everybody out there. Yes. And real estate is just all about that, diversifying your personal portfolio and expanding into those other areas to help. And I talk to pharmacies, they're doing amazing in their pharmacies, and they're like, I have this extra cash. What else should I be doing? And so there's a lot of people that are kind of looking like either what's after pharmacy. There's some people that are in their twilight of their career, pharmacy ownership, early 60s. They're maybe ready to get out of pharmacy, but they're not ready to get out of the game, so to speak. So talk a little bit, you've mentioned some, depreciation and tax benefits and passive income, but what do you see as that like benefits of getting into real estate? Like, what do people have access to when they start investing in real estate? Like, why would somebody want to invest in real estate? What are those perks that you can't get from a lot of other places?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. As you mentioned, I started with residential. I started flipping, rehabbing, and renting. It was just, to me, I'm a pharmacist. I want to spend time serving customers, helping customers. So to me, it made sense to go a little bit bigger commercially, buying large commercial buildings and then getting those checks, right? What's the advantage of real estate? To me, the first one is just the tax benefit, depreciation. Like this year, as you know, there's a 100% bonus depreciation, which next year is going to go down to 80%.
Yeah, I was going to say
phase out.
2022 is the last year of 100%
Yes.
depreciation. I don't know if they're ever going to change that based on the style of our economy, but as of right now, 2022 is the last year. And just so those of you are like, what is depreciation? So normally when you buy something that loses value over time, typically the way that the tax code is you only take a piece of that, however long that expected life expectancy is, and you take, let's say 20 years, so you get 1/20th, and you get to write off 1/20th it every year for 20 years, and that slowly depreciates. Well, what they've done with the tax code is recently we've been kind of spoiled as they've allowed 100% depreciation in the very first year. So that means instead of writing off over 20 years, you get 20 years of write-off in 1 year, which has huge beneficial tax implications. And right now, 2022 is the last year where it's 100%. As you mentioned, Claude, next year is going to be 80%. And there's this kind of like taper down. I don't know if they might change that at all, but right now that's what it is.
Exactly. And that strategy has helped us decrease our tax exposure as well. When our pharmacy is making money profit, we'll offset that with the tax depreciation that we get from real estate. So that one is number one for me as an advantage. And the second advantage, just having a passive income doesn't depend on me trading my time versus, with money. So, and then spending time with my family. And just the third one is just having a peace of mind. As you know, businesses are up and down, right? This year, DR fees might go way up or way down. You can't predict that, but real estate is consistent. I know if I have a good tenant, I'm going to get my rent income every month consistently. And so those are the advantage. There are many of them, but those that I can come to my mind.
Yeah, when we talk about passive income, a lot of times people, I think, people interpret that word differently. Some people think like I get to sit back on my couch and, sip a fruit drink with an umbrella in it and I have to do nothing. That isn't exactly the case. There are some situations where maybe you're just an investor and, you're paying other people to do things. But I think most time in real estate, there is some effort and some work that needs to be done. But you're absolutely right. It's not like on an hour by hour basis. Like, I'm putting in an hour and I get back, $200 or something like that. But, it is more passive. You're not trading, how much you clock in does not equal how much money you make. And I think to me, that's really what passive income means is it's not, I have to do zero work. It's just that it's disproportionate to the amount of work that I have to do in order to get the benefit, back to me. So how much time do you see, in managing, you've done residential, you're doing commercial now, what is that time commitment or effort from your standpoint? What did it look like in those different areas of real estate? And, how much time can somebody really expect to put in over the course of maybe a given month or something into this if they start investing in real estate?
Yeah, great question. When we first started, I was spending a lot of money, right? I was spending time to go collect rent from my houses in Miami. And now, so when we moved to commercial, as you said, there's so many different real estate, right? There's triple net building where the tenant is responsible for paying taxes, paying utilities, paying everything. What you receive is just a check at the end of the month. So those are the stuff that I did focus on 2017, buying those triple net building that does require a little to nothing of my time, as long as we stabilize the building. The work was to find the tenant, sign the 10 years lease, and then signing those triple net contracts. And then at the end of the month, once the building stabilized, we'll get those checks every month, right? So those are the type of commercial that we're looking for. And then we usually do buy like shopping plazas, shopping retail as well, where it's same thing. Make sure that it's a triple net where they are responsible for taxes, insurances, utilities, parking space, and so forth. So those are our focus right now as far as where we are investing. And yeah, so I spent less time for sure, maybe, but we have a large team as well. So we have underwriters team, we have property management team that work with us that take care of the properties as well. But as far as myself, we spend probably 10 hours a week managing those buildings.
Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about like maybe what the future looks like. Obviously, this is pure speculation, but as we've seen the shift to remote work, I personally know a lot of companies that have given up their quote unquote headquarters or home offices. How do you see that shift in real estate usage? I'll just say, whether it's businesses or retail space. I know driving around where I live in North Texas, there's some buildings that are sitting empty. There's some buildings that seem to be packed full and are thriving. But where do you kind of see that future going with, just like I said, the changes, remote work, just the different way that people have decided, the pandemic just changed so much. So, and it might be obviously local to your area, but what are you kind of predicting for the future for these type of triple net leases that normally businesses are occupying and things like that? So, let's just put on our speculation hat for a moment.
Sure. Let me tell you, like our portfolio, we have over $11 million of real estate commercially, right? And then we invest throughout the Southeast. We invest in Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, and so forth. And what we target, it's medical triple net leases. What do I mean by that? I mean like Davida, Fresenius, those are like national tenant. They're like multi-billion dollars company that's had people with their dialysis need, right? So they have those huge machines that cost $200,000 per machine, right? And then they have like 18 or 20 of them. For them to just one day to just pack up and leave, it's going to be so much. It'll cost so much, right? So and then they tend to sign a lease of 10 years. So I know within 10 years, I'm a guarantee that I'm going to get my passive income every month. Now with we don't buy office building. We just buy medical triple net building. We buy shopping plaza that have some type of medical as well, where we make sure that we have 2 or 3 tenants that if one leaves, we still have 2 tenants that can still pay their rent. And then now with interest rates rising, the real estates are going actually, there is some discount coming up, like 20% discount, which we are actually buying one in Davida, they gave us 20% discounts. My philosophy is, how do I invest in something that will give me cash flow first day? I don't want to wait appreciation. That's not me. I want to make sure that I have a passive income, a positive cash flow in the first day. And so actually now is the best time to really invest in real estate because prices are going a little bit down. Even though interest is going up, I said there are some lenders that actually giving us the same interest rate for like 6 months ago. It's about relationship in real estate. So
yeah, absolutely. I really like that concept of targeting medical buildings because that is definitely one of those services that is never going to go fully online. You can do some doctor visits maybe through telehealth, but at some point, you need a doctor to look in your kid's ear or you need a doctor to, actually examine you. And so I think that's really smart to target those medical spaces because you're always going to have to do that in person at some point. So many things went to telehealth, but there's just some things. Even my eye doctor, I know when I went to the eye doctor during the COVID, they did a virtual visit. So it was like they had the little eye machines that the doctor was on the camera and it was all this whole digital thing. It was kind of a weird experience, but I still had to go to the building. I mean, they still have to physically put something in my eye to know whether or not I can see. And so I think that's really smart in terms of long-term future. I think another area is kid care. Anywhere where there's a kid care place, because you can't watch your kids virtually, they have to be there in person. So I think that's kind of along the same lines. That's what got my brain thinking there. So if somebody is interested in maybe investing in real estate or just learning a little bit more, how can they contact you to just get some more information, kind of figure out what it is that you're doing and, maybe they want to replicate what it is that you have. So how can they get a hold of you or your team over there, Claude?
Sure. Yeah, we have a platform. It's called rxrei.com, where there is resources about. There's some blogs. There will be some podcasts that people can listen to. There'll be some educational materials that they can hear. And then if they want more information, they can book a call with me or my team, and we can walk them through. We have some coaching sessions as well to teach people about real estate, finance, for financial real estate, all the financial freedom, passive income, different line of income. So we have all those resources in our website. And, my mission as well is to how do we make sure pharmacists are still relevant 20, 50, 100 years from now? How do we make sure that we save another pharmacy, before they're going out of business? That's your calling as well. So that's why I love this show.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you. So rxrei.com, and we'll put that in the notes. I know I'm going to be reaching out to you. We are almost done remodeling our house, which has been my real estate journey so far as a rehab. So I'll be almost done with that experience, and I'll be kind of ready to move on to my next phase of real estate investing. So you can bet I'll be reaching out to you as soon as we're done with that first initial project. So thank you so much for sharing your experience and your journey, Claude. It's been great, knowing for all these years, and I'm very excited. This isn't exactly a new adventure for you. It was new for me to learn about it, but this is kind of something you've been doing for a while now, obviously. So thank you so much for sharing. I know lots of pharmacists and pharmacy owners are going to be interested, and I just hope that they use this knowledge and information to help, just make their lives better and more financially stable for many future generations. So thanks for sharing, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.